You are listening to the Becoming the Wealthy You podcast with Jermaine Foley. If you're a woman who makes good money in your career or business, but you're not building wealth like you want to, then you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how to stop overspending, break free from the cycle of debt, save lots of cash, and become the wealthy woman you were born to be. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Okay, so have you ever looked at how much money you're making now and compared it to what you may have been making 5, maybe even 10 years ago and thought, how in the world am I making this much more money, yet it just doesn't feel like it? Right? You may be making more than you've ever made before because you're doing your thing. Maybe you're a business owner, a woman working in healthcare, human resources, higher education, sales, finance, maybe technology or some other field, right? You've earned the degree, you have the credentials, and you've worked your way up. You might be in your late 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, you're in your prime. Right? You've landed the bigger role, received the promotions, and you finally have reached the income that you thought would change everything. Maybe you're making 100K, 150K, 200K, or even more. And for context, when we really think about those numbers, the median household income in the U.S. was just under $84,000 in 2024. That means that you may be out earning entire households that have multiple people working outside the home, and you're making more than them combined. But again, as I said earlier, it doesn't feel like it, and you feel like you should be so much further along by now. Like you just don't have the breathing room or the margin that you really, really want in your financial life. Right? You may still be carrying credit card debt from month to month. You may have saved some money, but it's just not nearly as much as you think you should have based on what you earned. You may feel like your monthly expenses are higher than they should be and that your retirement account is lackluster, right? It's like, I'm putting money in my 401k or my IRA, but I don't think it's enough for me to retire comfortably and live this same lifestyle. And I'm painting this picture for you because I know how frustrating these circumstances could be. I know firsthand because I experienced them myself, and I work with women every single week who are in this predicament. Because on one hand, you know that you're doing well. You know that you're earning great money. But on the other hand, your financial life does not feel the way you thought it would at this income level. And again, this is something that I hear from women all the time. And it's something I've been paying very close attention to lately in my coaching. And what I've noticed is that making more money does not automatically mean you're building wealth, because making good money and building wealth are not the same thing. Making more money gives you more money to work with, but what really matters is what you do with that money. And that is what we're going to talk about today, right? Because we celebrate making more all the time. We celebrate the raises, the promotions, landing the bigger role, climbing the corporate ladder, starting the business, growing the business, and having the highest income we've ever had. We celebrate those things as we should, because I don't want you to think that I'm saying that income doesn't matter, because it does. It is hugely important. Because let's be honest, it's hard to save. It's hard to pay off debt, stay out of debt, travel, invest, be generous, and create breathing room when you simply do not have enough money coming in. So yes, ask for the raise, go for the promotion, go for the bigger role, grow the business, increase your income. I am all for that. That's one of the things I help my clients do in our coaching. I am all for women making as much money as they want to make. And here's the thing, income is only one piece of the wealth building puzzle. And so for the rest of the episode, we're going to talk about 3 other pieces that matter just as much. And here they are: your financial position, your financial impact, and your financial thermostat. So let's go ahead and get to it, we're going to kick it off with your financial position. So your financial position is simply a snapshot of where your finances stand at a particular point in time. So this includes your income. It also includes your cash flow, your savings, your debt, your investments, and your net worth. It is an overall financial picture. So imagine taking a snapshot of your finances today. How much money are you earning? How much money do you have in savings? How much debt are you carrying? How much do you have invested? How much are you adding to your investments? How much money do you have left over after paying all of your monthly expenses? What does your cash flow look like? And what is your net worth? That snapshot right there shows you your financial position today. Now, let's imagine you take another snapshot 6 months from now. Now we want to know what changed. Did your savings increase? Did your debt decrease? Did your investments grow? Do you have more money going to investments? Do you have more money left over after the month ends? Did your net worth increase or grow? How about your cash flow? Is that the same, or did you increase your cash flow? And one of the most important questions you could ask yourself is, do you feel like you have more breathing room today than you did 6 months ago? The measurable improvement between those two snapshots is what I call your financial impact, right? So your financial position is just a snapshot of a moment in time. And then once you really get in the groove of this and start taking multiple snapshots, you'll be able to measure your financial impact. Okay? So your financial impact is something different. It is how much you improved your financial position over a period of time, right? Most of us track our income. Some of us track our expenses. But what really is powerful is when you start tracking your financial impact. And what we really want to see that as we increase our income, we don't just increase our spending, but we increase our financial impact. Because as we make more money, we want our financial position to improve. And as we do that, we will increase our financial impact. So we want our income to actually make our lives feel better financially, not just spend more. And unfortunately, that is what a lot of us do. When we make more money, it just gets absorbed into our lifestyle and we don't feel any significant financial impact from it because we never changed our financial position with the additional income. And so that brings us to your financial thermostat. We all have one. And this is something that I find is a very good picture for what happens when you make more money, but it doesn't feel like it. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the financial thermostat. Now, typically, what we hear in the personal finance world is lifestyle inflation, right? When someone makes more money, but it doesn't feel like it, it's usually because of lifestyle inflation. Right? You start eating out more, you start spending more, take nicer vacations, buy nicer clothes, upgrade your car. You pay for more conveniences because you're busy and can afford it. And yes, lifestyle inflation is definitely real and it's a part of what's happening. But I think it goes much deeper than just, oh, you just are spending more. Because here's what's really, really true underneath all of it. Making more money does not change how you manage it. You typically just do more of the same since your habits, your thoughts, your behaviors, your patterns, none of that changes. It's still there. So when you go for a promotion or go after a new position or start a new business and start making money, that doesn't change your habits. It doesn't change the way you think. It just changes how much money is coming in. So do you see where I'm going with this? Making more money doesn't automatically change who you are with money, how you behave with money, what you do with money. And so when you make more, you just do more of the same. And here's what I really want you to know. We as humans truly have the best intentions. We sincerely believe that when we make more money, we're going to save more, that we're going to get out of debt and stay out of debt, that we're going to increase our retirement contributions, that we're going to start investing even outside of our workplace account, or we're going to open up that self-employed investment account so that you can start putting away money for your future. We truly believe that that's what we're going to do when more money starts coming in. And so we tell ourselves, when I make more, I'll do this. When I make more, I'll do that. And you do mean it. You really do. But then time passes and you look up, it's 6 months later, and you look up and realize you've done none of those things. The raise came in, the money came in, the income increased, but somehow life found a way to just absorb it. And I believe part of the reason this happens is because of our financial thermostat. Think about the thermostat in your home. You set it to a certain temperature. When the house gets warmer than the temperature you set, the air conditioner kicks on and brings the temperature back down. When it gets too cold, the heat kicks on and brings the temperature back up. The entire system is designed to bring the temperature back to the setting it recognizes as normal. Okay, I want you to hear me when I say this. It's automatic. You don't have to keep teetering with it. You set it one time, and then the thermostat is going to do the rest of the work. So I believe we all have a financial thermostat, as I said, and we have a certain financial temperature that we're used to living at. It may not be the temperature you want, right? It may not even feel good, but it's familiar. Maybe you're used to having about $4,000 in savings, and whenever your savings get above that amount, something seems to happen. There's a trip, there's a purchase, there's a reason that you need to use that money. And before you know it, your savings is right back to about $4,000, right? Maybe you're used to carrying a certain amount of debt on your credit cards. You pay it down, but before you know it, it's right back where it started. Maybe you're used to getting paid and seeing a certain amount of money in your checking account, right? So you're used to the big amount when you first get paid, but just before the next paycheck comes in, it's usually at around $200, right? That's what's normal. Maybe you're just not used to having much money left over after you pay all your expenses. Again, you may not like this, but it's familiar and it's normal. It's likely something you want to change, but it's still the financial temperature that your brain recognizes as normal. So when you receive a raise, when you get a big promotion, when you start growing your business, technically what you're doing is you're turning up the temperature. More money is coming into your life now. But if you have not intentionally reset your financial thermostat, your brain and your lifestyle will begin working to bring you back to the temperature you're used to. And that can happen through many ways, through lifestyle inflation. It can happen through convenience spending, more meals out, more shopping, nicer cars, nicer clothes, bigger trips, more services, more subscriptions. You just begin spending more in ways that feel completely reasonable because now you can afford more. You make more money. You can handle it. You can afford it. Right? And most of the time, these decisions are not conscious. You're not sitting down after receiving a $20,000 raise and saying, okay, let me figure out how to spend every single dollar of this so my financial life can feel exactly the same. You're not doing that. That's not what happens. It happens little by little, a new expense here, an upgrade there, a few $100s more here, and a car note. And with a nicer car comes higher insurance rates. Maybe you start upgrading your wardrobe a little bit. Instead of shopping at Marshall's and TJ Maxx, you're now going to Nordstrom and other places like that, right? More money gets spent on conveniences because work is busy and you feel like your time is limited. And before you know it, the raise has been completely absorbed into your regular life. You're making more money, but you still feel like you're in the same exact place. Your income increased, yes, but your financial impact did not. This is why I want you to think about where you were 5 years ago. How much money were you making then? How much are you making now? Is there a difference? And here's my question to you. Once you think about that, If your income has increased substantially, has your savings increased substantially too? Has your credit card debt gone down and stayed down? Have your investments grown significantly? Do you have more money left over after you pay your expenses? Do you feel like you have more breathing room, more calmness in your life? Do you feel more prepared for unexpected expenses that may come up? Do you feel more confident about your future? Do you feel like you're on track to be able to retire comfortably? Does your financial position reflect your increased income? And as you think about this, please, 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 no matter what the answers are, do not beat yourself up. That is not why I'm asking you these questions. This is not about feeling guilty. It's just about becoming aware. Because once you understand that you have a financial thermostat, you can start intentionally changing the setting. You can stop assuming that more money is automatically going to increase, your cash flow and automatically mean more savings and automatically mean that you're going to get out of debt and stay out. That's not what happens. You have to intentionally make those things happen. You have to decide ahead of time what that additional money needs to do, and then you have to make sure that it does exactly that. Because remember, wealth building isn't just about the income. Income is a very important piece of the puzzle, but it's just one piece. Yes, more income will give you capacity. It will give you more resources. It will give you more opportunities. But building wealth depends on what happens after you earn the money. This is why knowing your financial position matters, so that you can measure the difference. Remember, your financial position is a snapshot of where your finances stand at a particular point in time. You could take that snapshot today and take another one 6 months from now. Then you can compare them. Did you pay down the debt? Did you increase the savings? Did you invest more? Did you increase your cash flow? And most importantly, do you feel like you have more breathing room financially? Because the truth is, when it comes to your financial position, 3 things can happen. It can improve, it can stay about the same, or it can even become weaker. So we cannot automatically assume that making more money means your financial position will automatically improve. That's just not how it works. And I just explained why, and it's due to your financial thermostat. You can make more money while taking on more debt. You can make more money while increasing your expenses. You can make more money while saving and investing the same amount that you did before and not increasing it at all. Income matters, but it's not the only thing that matters. Remember, the real question is, what did the income help you change? And that change is your financial impact. Okay, so now let's do something fun and look at 2 different examples. Let's say woman number 1 receives a $20,000 raise. That's a huge accomplishment, and she should definitely be proud of that. But over the next year, her lifestyle expands. She upgrades her car, spends a little more on clothes, take a more expensive vacation, eat out more. Her savings stays about the same. Credit card debt stays about the same. And she doesn't really do anything different with her investments. And so when you look at her financial impact, really there was none. She earned more, $20,000 more at that, but she didn't make any financial impact with that additional income. It came in and it literally went right back out. It was absorbed by her lifestyle. Now, let's look at a different example. Let's say this person doesn't get a raise, but she's been listening to this podcast, maybe became a coaching client of mine, and now she understands the importance of understanding her financial thermostat. And so during that year, she paid off $5,000 in debt and didn't run it back up. She added $3,000 to her high yield savings account, and she increased her investments by $2,000 over the last year. So when you look at both of those women, which one actually strengthened her financial position? In the first example, yes, she made more money, but in the second example, she created more financial impact. Now, here's the thing. The sweet spot is to make more money, enjoy it by intentionally increasing aspects of your lifestyle, and allowing that increase to show up in your savings, your debt reduction, your investments, your monthly cash flow, and your net worth. The goal is for additional income to make you financially stronger. That's the goal. Because yes, you want more money, but the deeper desire that we all have usually is beyond the numbers on your paycheck. It's what we believe the bigger paycheck will actually provide. We believe that more money will give us more breathing room, more margin, more options, more flexibility, more confidence, more enjoyment, and more peace of mind. That's what we really want. We want those things, right? And so we think that the money will automatically give us those things, but it won't. It can, but it won't do it by itself. You have to intentionally decide that when you increase your income, or listen, many of you are making so much money, you can just decide this now without even waiting for an income increase, that you are going to turn your income into those things. You're going to turn it into more breathing room. You're going to turn it into more margin, more options, more flexibility, confidence, enjoyment, and more peace of mind. And so when you do that with the money you have right now, when more money comes in, it will automatically follow suit, right? You're deciding to reset your financial thermostat now with the money that you have so that when more comes, you're already in that groove, okay? Because what you really want is just to be able to handle unexpected expenses without immediately relying on credit cards. You really want to take nicer trips and help your children or loved ones, and to make decisions without money being the only thing you can think about. You want to be able to enjoy your life now while knowing that you're preparing for the future. That is what you really want. And if that's what you want, you have to start today, right? Measure your financial position and then do it again in 6 months. What was the impact? Was it positive? Did it stay the same? Or did it decrease? Did it weaken? This is the kind of work I do with my clients in one-to-one money coaching. We look at where you are now, where you want to be, and my job is to help you get there, right? We do it without having to sacrifice your lifestyle, without having to give up everything, without having to eat rice and beans, give up restaurants, slash expenses, or stop taking vacations or buying lattes. You don't have to do any of that to make significant financial impact in your life because you make good money. You already did the hardest part. You already have one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle set. Now we just need to fill in the others. And I would love to help you do that in one-to-one money coaching. And I know someone out there listening, you're listening to me and you're like, this is what I need. This is what I want. I'm ready. If that's you, do not let shame, embarrassment, or the thought, I don't want to share my business with someone else, stop you. Because that thought right there will keep you stuck someplace you do not want to be anymore, right? And when you come to that call, you do not have to know all your numbers. You don't have to share every detail of your finances. You just have to come wanting support, wanting help, and ready to change. And my job is to take it from there. So if you're ready, all you have to do is go to jermainefoley.com/consult to book your one-to-one money coaching consultation. That's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/consult, or you can go to the show notes and click the link there and it will take you to the booking page. What I know for sure is that if you are a woman who makes good money, you can have so much freedom, so much flexibility, so many options, so much breathing room. But you have to decide to do that intentionally. It will not happen just by increasing your income alone. All right, I will see you all next week. Bye-bye. Hey, if money is the one area of life you just can't seem to figure out, even though you make good money, you're not alone. That's why you're invited to book a complimentary one-to-one money consultation with me so that we can figure out how to solve your biggest money challenges. To sign up, simply go to jermainefoley.com/consult or check out the show notes. Hope to meet you soon.